So it just already give thanks. Give thanks. Benevolence, fam. Loved ones, hate ones, friends and frenemies. Vibrating in the Vibecast. O.W.U, the original world union. The origin of world unanimity. We mashing the place up. This is what we do. There's a lot of laughing matters going on right now. I need y'all to declare war, psycho-spiritual warfare on these games being played on you. Head games, tragic head games being played on your mind, and you don't even know it. Don't be like the secular society enslaved, mentally and psycho-spiritually enslaved in this spatio-temporal zone known as the Earth, the university of the planet Earth. This is the origin of world unanimity, the original world union. We are coming to you direct from Mother Earth, from the United States of America, from the West Coast, the Great Coast, the Peace Coast. The Pacific means peace and benevolence. We're direct, but it is no longer peace and benevolence except in nature on the West Coast. In the human civilization, it is war, psycho-spiritual warfare. We're direct to you. We are direct to you because wherever you at in the world, it's love every time. That's what we're doing, and we're about to manifest and address these issues with this pathetic, false, fake presidential election, false, fake democracy. Hypocrisy is what it is. We're gonna get into this, and we coming directly at you without fear and without the slave consciousness. I'm O.W.U Kalini, Asaru Ma'a, known as the Pet Bay, disguised as mild-mannered citizen David Dimitri. Mashing the place up. That's what we do. David Dimitri live in color, but we're on the O.W.U on YouTube.com. We are on O.W.U on YouTube.com. Check in and know that you can call in. That's right. You can call in and give your 2-piece, give your dime piece. The number is 909-446-2388. Look on the screen. I will be putting it on the screen right about now. I'm putting it on up, putting that phone number up for y'all to call in. And it's time for us to recognize and realize that we're being played. We're being played. That's what's going on. Played. The games are tragic. The games are horrific of what they're doing to play you out. They playing you out like a sucker with these fake so-called elections with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, formerly the election competition was, of course, as you know, Joe Biden. So now they're getting into your emotions, switching things up, playing with your heads, making you think you free, making you feel like you should be involved, making you feel like you should have an opinion. And of course you could. In your sane mind, of course we respect it and recognize that. So I introduce myself, let the queen introduce herself.
Yes, give thanks, everyone. Glad everyone can make it. I know we still have people joining the live stream here on YouTube, but my name is Allie, out here on the West Coast as well, on the Peace Coast. Give thanks.
Gratitude. How do you feel about all this going on with the so-called presidential election? Meanwhile, we have all these threats to World War III going on, and economic instability, and we have cartels going wild in Central America, North America, South America. We got mafias going on in Europe and throughout the Africa and Asia. Meanwhile, they playing this game as if this democracy. What do you feel? Regardless of what I'm saying, what do you feel is going on?
Definitely, I think every time we have an election year, something happens in one way or another where it provides like a big distraction to something. So I know now, like you said, there's a lot of different things going on, like, with the changing candidates from Biden to Kamala. Everybody forgot about the whole Microsoft issue that went down, right? They blamed it on a guy that was trying to clean a cord or something and disconnected, but you don't know that. Like, it could have been grids going down.
Grids, that's real talk.
Yeah, but like you said, there's a lot of things.
That's fire.
There's a lot of things happening out in the world, or even people's local areas, and I think every time the elections do come around, there's something different that happens to kind of skew people's focuses away from things that are happening immediately.
Gratitude for that. That's real. I hope y'all really picked up on the purpose of what she's saying. Not just the question, but she had a purpose behind her answer. And that is, it's a micro level effect on you. In other words, the macro is the big election, the big $1 billion, $1 trillion facade that doesn't really exist. Money and finance is just based off our agreement. The agreement never existed voluntarily. The agreement was forced on the people through hundreds of years of complete violence and destruction. Playing with your mind. You see? Getting you in a zone, zoning you out. About time your generations wake up out of the torture. It's a whole nother reality. So you skip to 100 years of the European domination, the Nicene Creed, which created the manifest destiny, go around the world and take over all the waters, the lands, But see, what they forgot is that there's civilization and sentient beings inside the earth, and they don't play that. And it's a war going on between them and those within the earth who love us, the true indigenous people of the earth. And this is why you gotta feel good about yourself, feel hyped up and amped up, because it's not over. Don't look at it as gloom and doom. Feel good in the good vibes, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to realize that there's an underlying program going on that 1,000 years started its beginning about 4,000 years ago. We 4,000 years into that future. We're living in the United States, what's called the United States of America. Well, the nation state experiment is just a couple hundred years old, which began from what was prescribed by a man named Adam Smith in Europe. And a lot of people don't get the connection between the nation state and experiment and capitalism, which predates what? You know a lot. 909-446-2388 is the phone number. Call in. Let's see if you really know. Because it's a lot pressured onto the human being in America, from Maine to Florida, the bottom of Florida, from the Gullah Islands to Hawaii, from Alaska to the bottom south tip of Texas. We're dealing with a lot of Psycho-spiritual warfare, those of y'all outside of this country. Just like the amount that you deal with, we're dealing with a higher level. There's a programming from the matrix for every specific group of people. It's cynical. You will go sick and just laugh. So what we're addressing is these pathetic fake elections. And at your root, being here and being from here, you feel with even in your heart, this is real, we have to vote, and that's not a bad thing. And then you have others that feel like, fuck that shit ain't shit. I'm not, and notice I start cussing because that's the attitude. I start using foul language, right? So-called, that's on you if you perceive it as that. But the point is, that's the attitude. I know it's not that people give up, it's that they don't even get started. They don't give a damn about that because it never gave a damn about them. So you got arrogant people that have political science degrees or law and all this, or that's part of the upper class society, which is the upper middle class, wealthier class, and they say, well, you're an idiot if you don't vote or politically. Really, or are they a victim? Are they a generational victim? You see, your lack of empathy in your middle class and upper class, young ass, old ass, it don't make no difference. Male, female, sexuality, gender, none of that had nothing to do with it. If you don't have empathy, if you don't place empathy in your perception of other people and what's going on in this crazy world that no individual and no particular group has total control of, or even any, you see what I mean? Not even those evil people in their high society, they don't have total control over this. Of course, there's good people in high society, but what I'm talking about is them. So my question is, to any of you that want to call, 909-446-2388. If you catch this stream, if you want to come in, call in, and that's what you do. But right now, we're going to kick it. It's just spontaneous. We didn't let anybody know we were going live. We just going live. It's on you if you want to call in, 909-446-2388. But I feel like everybody has a purpose, is what I'm trying to say. The people not voting, it's a purpose to that. The people that's voting, it's a purpose to that. How do you feel about that perception of it?
Definitely everyone has a purpose, whether you vote or not, right? It's just like the ecosystem, right? Every life form and level has a purpose. And you have to keep in mind that some people, they don't vote in the presidential election, but they may vote locally, right? And then you have some people that don't vote locally, but they will vote in the presidential election. And then you have those that may do both. And then some, you know, maybe they don't vote at all because they're not sure and they don't want to just pick just, you know, because people are pressuring them. Like, I think you have to respect that if, you know, someone has so much going on in their personal life, right? Maybe very critical things or traumatic things to where they don't want to make a decision in regards to something that they're not fully informed of, to where they can feel like they can make the best decision for themselves. And,
right.
You know, I think that's something to appreciate, right? I mean, you have to think about it. Like, there may be some people that may be in critical health condition that, you know, they can't do the research that, you know, they would like to.
Exactly. Exactamundo. That's a good point.
What we're doing is I'm telling fish that they live in water. There's a young fish and an old fish, and the old fish says, "Hey boy, how's the water today?" And the young fish says, "What's water?" Water. Why? A fish spends its whole life immersed in water.
So that's what's going on. People are spending their entire life immersed in bullshit, in beat shit, in fake knowledge, trick knowledge, and we, as a human being, no matter what, we want to feel good about ourselves. And then we, no matter what, are kind of like monkey see, monkey do as human beings, is part of surviving. You have to do as other people to a point where they're just going to snap on you. So it's like I said, thousands of years of forcing people into this false reality, fiat resource system. Money is fake. Finance is fake. It's fiat. It has no connection to real life, yet it can be used in real life because of the full universal agreement on this earth plane, the surface of the earth. The people inside the earth don't use money. That's right. We believe there's civilizations inside the earth. Civilizations outside of the earth don't use money or finance. They're not enslaved. So that's kind of evidence that it's a slave hold. So if you believe that Kamala Harris is better for you as a United States, or better for the United States, whether you're United States American or not, whether you're in America or not, who do you feel is better? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris is the question that the Matrix is asking you. It's all on the news. I can pull it up right now. Yeah, there's so ignorance is really something, as you see on the screen now, that's really is bothering people. But where are we headed to? We're headed to, we're not sure. It's the point is 909-446-2388 if you want to call in, 909-446-2388. Sorry I don't have the graphic up. I had it in here, but I did some things. I have to put it back up. But 909-446-2388. We are in unanimity in our vision of this, and our interpretation of the reality is that it's part of the mind control, the big presidential election. It's part of getting you all to agree this is the reality. Okay? So how are you better than people? Because they don't vote. I'm a political atheist. She's a political atheist. We only deal with politics if it's directly affecting us in our now or in our life. So we do care a healthy amount to the elections, the political process, the administrative state, the laws and order. We understand and respect that, but we don't let it bring us out of our healthiness. We keep good vibes and feel good about ourselves. We feel inspired and we want to share that with you. And that's the point of this talk. But again, we're addressing, if you're just coming on, I don't know if you're just watching this, we're addressing the USA political election and how it's an energy drain and it's a distraction from what? From your soul consciousness, putting you and keeping you in ego consciousness. And we're not saying don't vote. We're not saying don't politically pray. We're not saying be ignorant to the process, how it works and all this. We're saying you shouldn't be living every night and day and be super emotional about this as if you have total control over it. If you're benefiting from it, I get it. If it's, but is it not a distraction from the economic crash like this plane that we have on screen? Is it not a distraction from the fact that we are already in a second civil war in the United States of America? We go places where we're not wanted because of our color, our ethnicity. The people have bad vibes, you see? But then we, because of these elections, we'll go around some of our own people, are supposed to be own people. They don't like us because they assume they know where we stand. They think we're going to vote for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. They think we're caring about that bullshit, or they think some of them know we're not going to vote people. How do you think people are perceiving you? They give you bad vibes amongst our own people, amongst foundational Black Americans, ADOS. Like,
I mean, I think it depends on the situation, but I think we've encountered pretty much all of them where people either assume, one, that we're not voting, or two, saying that we need to vote for Kamala. And then I think we even ran across some that were basically saying Kamala's not going to get elected, so you should vote for Trump.
Oh yeah. It was funny because the brother, and I give brothers and sisters my cards or some type of connect with me, my dot card, or one thing or another. I give them to him, and we were talking. We were at a restaurant having some drinks. Nice spot, and you know, this brother is there with his wife and his daughter, and he was very like astute the way he held himself and respectful. So we had some discussion, and he just went in like, this is before Kamala officially, the day before, the night before Kamala officially accepted and was put in play to be the nominee for the Democratic run for the president. And he just gave a whole reasoning why. And his wife wasn't comfortable with it, being a black woman. And him being a black man, he was very firm and like, and then he mentioned he voted for President Reagan back in the 80s. How did you feel about that? What he said, his attitude toward Kamala. Do you think it had to do with her being a woman, or?
I think part of it had to do because of that, from what I gathered from the conversation, had to do with that and the fact that he didn't think it was something that was possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like he would have voted, even if Biden was in, I think he still would have voted
yeah, I thought it was
for Trump anyway. Because that just seemed like where he stood, that, you know, voting Republican would give him the most benefit. So I think he was just trying to, it seemed like he was just trying to cover up that he would have voted that Republican anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see. He one of those. Okay, and he been one of those since the 80s. And President Reagan is who did the Iran-Contra, bringing all the cocaine and getting the cocaine made in the crack and distributed into the black community. It wasn't black people doing that, y'all. It was the United States government. It's been proven and everything, the Iran-Contras, whatnot. And that's just in the United States alone. Reagan, you know, he put that out against his own American citizens. And that's just ridiculous. I want to let you all know that we are living in a matrix. We are not free souls. And so the whole point of this talk is to help bridge gaps. So if you looking down, or someone is influencing you that you need to vote and you have to do this, or you're a lowlife, and that people that don't vote or not politically active are lowlife, question that and don't just accept that as the truth. Give other people besides that type of person a chance. And the same thing with someone that's telling you should not vote, you should not give a damn about that and this, and you know, don't care about nothing but video games and getting high and stuff. That's bullshit. Or just being on the street all the time. That's bullshit too. You can make money. You can make a good living for yourself. You don't have to be a deadbeat on the streets. So there's a balance going here. And that's not what's being pushed in the media or in the education system or in homes or in neighborhoods or online. And so that's the difference when you're here on O.W.U. We want to try to bring balance where there isn't. So we're not coming on here to try to influence you to give a damn about so-called Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. We're not trying to get you to be, if you're an international person, we're not trying to get you to throw away the United States, that it's not a complete, any form of a democracy, no, but it is a hypocrisy. It's less of a democracy than it claims to be. It's a plutocracy and not an anocracy mixed together. Plutocracy with a technocracy. I repeat, it's the United States of America is a total plutocracy, rule of the corporate, anocracy, tyrannic rule in disguise, and technocracy, ruled by technology and technocrats. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the United States is definitely a combination of all those things. I don't know what kind of ocracy you would call for a company for a country, sorry, that's heavily influenced or ruled by corporations, because I think that's what we have going on here. Like, a lot of people may or may not realize how much bigger corporations have an impact on your daily lives and what happens or doesn't happen, in the country.
That's real. That's one of the hidden factors in this matrix. That it's mind bending. That's what this sound effect is. It's mind bending. Who's really pulling the strings of this so-called election? Would we be wrong to say corporate interest? Fraud alert. Fraud elections. I thought it was what the United States was what Abraham Lincoln said. A government for the people, by the people, through the people. Isn't that it? What's going on here? The 14th Amendment was created to stop slavery, to ensure that slavery wouldn't be implemented again in the United States. In 1913, extremists, capitalists use the 14th Amendment to justify that corporations can operate with immunity in the United States of America. That's some clown shit. 1913, they also established the what's known as a central bank, the Federal Reserve. Another clown move. 1913, they also established the IRS. Do I have to keep telling you what they did in 1913 and how it's affecting us in 2024? Dividing us, keeping people poor and rich, yada, yada, yada. Elections, 2024, months from knowing who the new president will be. How is Kamala Harris better than Donald Trump, or Donald Trump better than her? Let's go into a planned spiritual aspect on this, of which I planned. I wanted to go biblical, not because the United States isn't and is a Christian country, but because a lot of people know the Bible. Revelation chapter 13, Satan will give power. Actually, in chapter 12, the Revelation, the book in the Bible, chapter 12 to 13, Satan, it talks about how the forces of wickedness give power to certain people. It was speaking of thousands of years ago. So we're living under that same rulership. It's the same bloodline and families and type of people still ruling the earth, ruling the United States of America, regardless of it's the nation state experiment, regardless if it's the capitalist experiment, regardless if it's the socialist experiment, the communist experiment. All of it is human flawed. And so Donald Trump is described in Revelation. He's a form of it. The arrogant, the pompous that says he's better than God and he is God. This is the level of what in the image, the egomania, in the mind control. There are people that want that to be their leader, and they're coming up with excuses saying, well, this and this will be better because of an egomaniac. Narcissist, not a psychopath. He has all them emotions of a narcissist, sociopath, egomaniac. behavior and history and past of that. Then you have a cold, cynical, hope, seller of hope, false hope, empowering those that want to live in sexual deviation and sexual perversion, those that want to live in a state where they never care about poor people because all they care about is getting their attention addicts. They always want to give attention or get attention. It's never about slowing down and being empathetic. That's what she wants to empower. He's empowering that too, but in a different version of it. So how is this for you, the common people, the everyday souls? How does either of these want to benefit you? I'm going to ask her.
So for either one of them to benefit you, I mean, I think you would have to really take a objective step back and look at both parties, look at it at like some of the things that you need or maybe critical to you or things that you want to preserve. Like I know, healthcare may be a focus for some people, or housing laws and procedures, interest rates may be something for some people. I know a lot of people are looking at student loans and that whole debacle and like what could come of that, or even the availability and affordability to attend higher education. So I think there's a lot of different things that people look at besides just the personality presented, but like sadly some people only do look at that, and that's
I think that's the benefit of Harris. Yeah. She's not really on that. But yeah. I think a lot of women and Black Americans and LGBTQ are on her for a personality reason. Mm-hmm. Not just because of what they actually know will benefit them, but just because
I think it's
of
more of a assumption, like assuming because she's a woman and she's, biracial, she's mixed with Indian and Black, that she would do certain things because she is a woman. But I mean, if you think about people just in general, right, there are some people that do crazy stuff, right, and they are a woman, or they do crazy stuff and they are a man, right? So I think some of those people are just assuming, because she's a woman and because she's a Democrat, she's going to be for abortion rights, she's going to be for getting the loans canceled and forgiven. But I mean, those are things that we'll have to see. Like I know my granddad always used to say, like, for elections, you just have to vote the best you can because people will say whatever to get in there. And then once they get in there, you don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. Because they could essentially do anything. There's nothing on paper that holds them to do everything that they've been talking about during that campaign. Because if there was some type of law or like rules like that, I'm sure people would... they would tread more lightly with the things that they say. Because then if they're held accountable to actually action those, we'd probably see a different type of political campaigns from both parties.
Right. That's pretty awesome, actually. I think that was very inspirational work. Because she just brought the conversation back down to earth, y'all. She just brought it down to actual factual things that are going on and the potential of what's going on, you see. And that's the importance of diversity in these conversations. And that's what's so good about this election, to be down to earth, is that you have a Malaysian, a Black and Asian woman that versus a white American, European. He's a second generation. His mother, I believe, and dad were from Wales or somewhere like that, and he was like the second generation born over here, or he was the first generation born over here. Donald Trump was. So he's an actual European, but he's raised up in the white supremacy and the white supremacy classist capitalist movement. He's gentry. He is United States gentry. It's like I believe the only person that can actually beat him, like if it's just by the code of personality for wealthy people and people, it would be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh yeah, Arnie would kick his ass in the elections. I'm telling you, he would. I gotta realize that. So back to the question though, let's look at Donald Trump. The tragedy of Donald Trump. The tragedy of Donald Trump is the racism and giving police giving police their right to immunity. And police are always killing black people, like for nothing. They don't even go after the blacks that are killing blacks for nothing. They go after just random blacks that are just at peace. So it's obviously some sort of purposeful, not only agenda, but it's some sort of Luciferian and satanic rituals. And it's also prototypical of slave master behavior to keep fear in the masses by violently brutalizing other individuals of those masses to keep fear in all the other masses. That's a slavery tactic. And so we're dealing with a lot of crazy shit. And then the sad thing about Harris is they're damn near pushing us into World War III. They're like funding World War III, like without any effort toward slowing it down or stopping it. They're falsely accusing Russia of doing things they're not. They're falsely accusing China of doing things they're not. The BRICS countries are totally in some sort of negotiation where they're like literally like submissive, but making it obvious where you can't even lie about it through the media. And still, then the thing going on with Israel to keep such violent, protracted war combat against Palestine, it's spreading. It's not just gonna be Palestine no more. And so under Donald Trump, none of that would have been happening. And it's not about Donald Trump under George Bush, under the Republicans, pretty much. It wouldn't be going down like that. It wouldn't. It just would. That's not what the Republicans are trying to do. So it's not about Donald Trump, but it's more about the GOP is trying to keep certain things going. So what my point of saying is coming down to earth, I'm glad she brought us down to earth, is this, everybody. They have forced you as the citizenry and even the political class, the working class, blue, even you people in prison in the United States, and we affect you, Mexico, we affect you, Caribbean, we affect you, Pacific Islanders. We have a Pacific Island state. Hawaii. That's not originally part of the United States. And so Alaska, we affect Canada. They have told us, the United States, the United Snakes is telling you to your face without fear or reservation, you have nothing good to receive from us. We are the upper investment class. We are the political class of the United States of America. And you, the citizens of the United States of America, will receive no good, and you're going to accept whatever we have to give you because you are no good and you don't deserve good leadership. You don't deserve altruistic leadership. You don't deserve a holistic leader that could do good in all levels. In fact, we want you to believe and be so pessimistic that no one could be a total good leader. And in fact, we want you to believe that this is the greatest country in the world, but yet no good human being could totally exist here. They're telling you that there is no good, total good human beings. There's no good potential. There's no one that can make peace at the border and make peace with Russia and make peace with Israel and make peace with China. There's no way to get the economy right and the financial. They're telling you there's no fixing the problems. There's no way to get law enforcement to be helpful, only destructive. There's no, they're telling us, Asabs, they're feeding you and telling you to participate in misery. And you're doing it, you're celebrating it. How do you feel about this? Where we're going with what I just said?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely sucking people in. And a lot of people are falling for it and getting sucked into it. Like even was it the last election, right? You have people that all of a sudden just got an attitude just because of what was happening. You know, they automatically started not liking certain type of people, and then when they see them, start acting a different way. And then you have people that are then, like, for example, when Barack Obama was running for president, you had some people that, you know, may not have been, you know, positive towards people of color, all of a sudden overly, like, nice and overly positive towards black people when they probably wouldn't have been before. And then the same thing now, right? You may have people that maybe, you know, see someone that favors Kamala, or they're like, oh, because she's a woman and, you know, Kamala I'm going to be nicer to them. Or, you know, this person is someone that Trump's against, you know, I want to make sure they have a terrible day or any way I can to cause misery in their lives. I'm going to, because that's what needs to happen. So I think either way, people are getting sucked in and wrapped in if they're not grounded in their own identity, their own thoughts, their own values, their own beliefs, their own processing and perception and knowledge, you know, of what's going on around them.
Absolutely. Sorry, y'all, I had to fix some things. It's all good. It's all good. And let's acknowledge the rightness of what she's saying. But, you know, it is saddening to know that this is what they're offering to the children. And let's look at another sad thing that's terrible about both Trump and, well, you can blame Trump and Harris. I don't like to say that. That's another thing. We need to stop blaming these individuals, these so-called leaders. We need to blame the masses of people that are about the bullshit. So all of these GOP Republicans and classists and racists on that side, and yes, you have classists and racists that are Democrats, but you have one that want to force children to be embellished in LGBTQ culture. So that culture is the only culture that's prioritized. It's a culture. You're forcing that. Children have to prioritize on that. You're allowing laws to allow children to decide whether they want to get sex changes as children through chemical injections, whether their parents want it or not. I'm not saying universally this is what the Democrats are doing, but I'm saying there's bad instances where things are going out of hand, where I know a black woman lives over here and she's being threatened that they want to take her children because she don't want her son to be wearing dresses and wearing things that girls would wear. That's cultural. We have the right to not want our children to be involved in that. How you going to force? That's wicked. The same thing is just as wicked as in Florida, in southern states, in Midwest, don't want the truth of the history of the United States to be taught, of how oppressed black people and how black people were tormented for 300 some years. And then for another 100 years, tormented in another way. And still to this day, it's being tormented. It's all on the TV, seeing white men with these badges and all this gear, like Star Wars. They're like the Empire, like soldiers killing and oppressing the people from planet to planet. Like, that's what you value. It's what you're teaching. You dropped your son out of your womb, and you're teaching your white son to go out and kill. Like all this is pathetic, is what we're saying. Both sides have some real tragic things they're doing domestically. And then there's the international, where, like I said, the Democrats want to push World War III. They do. Not saying Republicans don't want to either, or the GOP. But what I'm saying is, this specific individual, Donald Trump, has a long, good history with Russia. And he has pretty much the same relationship with China and Iran that the Democrats do. But then you have the Democrats who just don't care about the border. It's just like, you're not being humanitarian by not keeping law and order with the borders. You're devaluing the American dollar, you're devaluing the law and order, and now you're devaluing millions of your citizens, saying that these people that you don't know from nowhere, you don't know their record, you don't know if they're giving you a real name, And now we have to, like, we're living on a boat, and we have to keep bringing people on it. And now we're competing for air and water and food with them. And then you have these horrific Republicans and GOP that want to create a wall really to keep the poor people in America. It's the poor Americans in. And keep the poor. At least the Democrats want to try to create ways, but they just ain't doing the right thing. They trying to give it to people that ain't from America, that happen to get here illegally. But then the Republicans just want to keep the poor. Keep the African Americans in poverty and fake like they're not. Fake like they're not racist. But you got liberals that fake like they're not racist. You got LGBTQ people that are racist, that oppressed us, that treated us bad in business situations and in the real world. So it's really tragedy what's going on. And this message is really for anybody that catches it. It's for people that aren't in America, people that don't know. China, Iranians, Chinese, South Africa. I lived in South Africa. BRICS countries, in other words. Russians. It's fake. It's fake. The election's fake. The whole thing is fake. It's a prison. But there's nothing wrong with, I would encourage you to go out and vote, even if you don't want to, so you could feel good about yourself, getting out, see how it's done, get in the line, go out, get yours, get the experience, learn that you have power and that you have the power to influence. That's why I say, not because of any other reason. And you get to see the masses of people. You know that you're not brainwashed. You know you tapped into O.W.U, the original world union. O.W.U, Asaru, manifesting these truth to you. Asaru Ma'a, bringing the truth. Ali, bringing the truth. That's an acronym, ALY. We'll tell you that later. It's an ancient revelation and prophetess. But you have to know, we did this for you. If you catch this video late, it's no problems. Follow the streams, get the knowledge born, continue, we dropping our wisdom, and we don't want to interrupt your wisdom. Thank you. Remember, 909-446-2388. We still tapped in. We can give y'all time if you want. 909-446-2388. You can tap in. Sorry, I don't have the number up. I have it on here somewhere. I just have it. We also taking donations. We're gonna require you to donate, and this is the level that we're on. This is what's really going on. You got your PayPal donation code right there. What's going on with, you have your CASHAPP donation. That's what you're seeing on the screen. You can screenshot that, donate here, blase. We're seeking to liberate our family, and we're going to be dropping the outline to where I kick the subconscious and build the bridge between your subconscious and conscious and everyday life healing for those that have made their life from out of poverty and making their life out of poverty, out of the middle class to an upper, higher level. But not only about money, but your lifestyle. You need to be able to heal, but still operate. So I'm teaching how to deal with your subconscious connection with your conscious in healing and operation, your particular lifestyle, which in your day-to-day and in and out habits, your ways of going into relationships, dealing with the relationships, whether it's friendship, business relationship, intimate relationships. I give real life stories of which I've experienced from my childhood, teenhood, and young adulthood on all different levels, okay, and how to deal with this. Also teaching you lessons on how to deal with social media in a healthy way. We want to bring you out of your shell and to be the leader you are, because you're an ascendant, and that's what O.W.U teaches. Original World Union. The book even goes into the purpose of O.W.U. We have the faith of true right, truth and rights. We're going to be doing shorts and long videos, kicking spiritual knowledge and spiritual how-tos. Because how is it knowledge if it's not showing you how to? That's why the book is called Outline to Empower. What to do and how to do and what to know. How to do and what to know for evolutionary living. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the book up so that y'all can have a better understanding of that. Again, we just did this on the fly, y'all. 909-446-2388. Can you keep repeating that to them, please?
Yep. 909-446-2388.
Yes, ma'am. That's it. And so this is the book, Outline Cover, Outline to Empower. We will be dropping this, y'all. We will be dropping this book by next month. It will be on KDP, Amazon. It will also be on my website, daviddimitri.com. That's daviddimitri.com. And also, you can check me out here at David Dimitri Live in Color on YouTube. See the center? This centerpiece? That's David Dimitri Live in Color on YouTube. I am David Dimitri. I'm also known as O.W.U. That's right. Asaru Ma'a, the Pet Bay. Look those names up if you want to know what that name Pet Bay mean, that title Pet Bay is. So we're going to be dropping more knowledge. We just wanted to check in with you for this election because we want you to not be part of their selection. You think you're voting, but it's selected because there's power players, investors behind the scenes controlling and pulling strings. Although somebody, Donald Trump, namely, want to act like nobody's pulling his strings. That's bullshit. That's right, daviddimitri.com. daviddimitri.com. David Dimitri Live in Color. We have the book Outline to Empower. You know what I'm saying? How to do and what to know for evolutionary living. That book will be dropped very soon. So that's why you go to daviddimitri.com. Let's go up. Just the way it's spelled right there. David Dimitri on the screen. Live in color, that's the other YouTube. This is the O.W.U YouTube, the Original World Union. This is where we get deep. David Dimitri is more promotional, marketing, more entertainment. That's where we do response videos. But over here on O.W.U, we get deep. All right? We breaking you down. We even going to be giving you some faith, the true right, truth, and right spiritual teachings, because you need to get in touch with nature and with your indigenousness, your soul consciousness over your ego. And that's what we trying to do to help you with this election. Don't put too much energy to it. It don't take too much energy to go and vote and to decide. Ain't nothing wrong with voting and ain't nothing wrong with sitting it out. But we want you to make sure that you're in your spiritual evolution and it's not interrupted. And that you don't identify yourself, because it's a battle of identity, politics, trick knowledge. So go to David Dimitri, live in color. Subscribe, like, follow. Thank you. All of y'all on David Dimitri Instagram. It's love every time.
Give thanks, everyone. Love every time.
And next time we're going to have the phone number up for y'all to call in. And we also going to let y'all know we going to go live. So you ain't got to worry about that no more. Benevolence. And again, check in with me. If you want to come on the show and talk about something, come on in. Or we can, by remote, bring you in to the live stream. You know what I mean? Call in. We building. We're growing. Donate. Gratitude. It's love every time. Gratitude for your donations, your love, and whether you caught this live or not, donate, because we're building. It takes a lot of money to get this equipment to do all this. Peace.
Give thanks.